Hello, my name's Dave from Bigmore Benefits. Today I'm going to talk about the top 5 employee benefits that your employees value. Now, when we think about benefits and compensation, often we think about the subject of pay as well. Pay is clearly important, but actually from research in a book written by a gentleman called Dan Pink called Drive, it showed that as long as you're paying your employees fairly, and fairly is the key thing, then it's actually everything that surrounds that is the most important thing, because as long as you're paying your employees fairly, they won't look to leave your organisation as long as they're happy. So here are the top 5 employee benefits that will help create that happiness factor within your organisation and help retain and attract key staff. So number 1 is flexible working. Now, years ago before COVID, we used to speak to companies all the time and actually speak to them about giving their employees more flexibility and autonomy in terms of their working hours. And although companies dabbled in it every now and then, it wasn't until COVID that it actually changed the landscape and showed employers that yes, you actually can trust your employees to work. So flexible working is the number 1 benefit that employees seek at the moment. Now that has to support your business, so every single flexible working package will look different at every company, and you have to think about that carefully, but that is the number 1 benefit. Tip number 2 will be pension. So pension always sounds like a boring thing, and employees don't naturally think that it's an employee benefit that they value. But when you start connecting it to their future, that's when it really takes hold. So what is a pension? A pension is really just a tax efficient way to save for your future. And once you realise that, then it stakes the importance on that benefit so much more clearly. So when you're looking at the pension, how is your pension set up? Are you contributing more than the market to your employees? And are your employees fully valuing it? So you're looking at all these type of things to make sure that your pension in place is standing out from your competitors. Tip number 3 is medical insurance. Certainly in the UK at the moment, since COVID, there has been a massive challenge with NHS waiting lists. In fact, prior to COVID, the waiting lists on the NHS were 3 million. Now they're closer to 7 million people waiting to receive some kind of treatment or operation. Now that's 10% of our nation, and that shows you that it's not sustainable for the NHS to manage alone. So companies are looking to medical insurance a lot more now, and it's definitely a benefit that you should be considering for your organisation. Often companies are a little bit concerned about the cost, but there are lots of ways to make it more affordable to you as an organisation and support your staff. Tip number 4 would actually be to have some kind of health and wellbeing program in place. Now, health and wellbeing is a massive subject, so it's good to have an actual strategy in place. We support companies with this, with running monthly webinars and also running programs for this, but it should be looking at the rounded picture of not just mental health, but emotional health, physical health, social connection between the companies. So there's loads of things to consider, and having some kind of strategy is really, really important. Tip number 5, and lastly, would be having some kind of connective benefit in place to connect your employees together. So the word company actually stems from a French word called compagnie. I may not be pronouncing that correctly, but what it actually means is a body of soldiers. So it means that it's a body of individuals working towards some kind of common goal, and that's what a company is. So making sure that you're connecting your employees together at every opportunity in the right way for your employees and for your company is a really, really good thing to think about. Socials is clearly a thing that works. Doesn't always have to be a big expense by the company, because employees just like some kind of excuse to get together. Or there's a whole range of things that you can be putting into place, maybe in-house competitions, reward and recognition schemes, but really it's just thinking about how can we connect our employees together to make us a more successful organisation. So these are the top 5 tips that employees value according to Bigmore Benefits, and we've been in this industry for 20 years. We understand it really well, and we've actually got a bespoke framework that we designed called the 4 Ps. You can see it from a previous video, and it shows you how all of these benefits will be incorporated within a rounded approach to really help your organisation. So if you need support, we're always happy to have an initial chat and find out more about you and how we can help you. So please do get in touch and we can go from there.